Good evening and welcome to this show, Winner's Mindset, a key to success. In this show, we we call experts to help the audience in adopting the winner's mindset. The mindset that is a key element to become a winner, and also to help people from uh, shifting from victim mindset to the winner's mindset. Today's guest is Sangeeta. Sangeeta is a happiness coach. He is an academician turned happiness coach. So we are going to learn how he became a coach and what experiences, what wisdoms he have to adopt in our life. Welcome, Sangeeta, in this show. I'm so happy to see you here. I'm looking forward to learn a lot from you. Welcome to this show. And I would like you to introduce yourself. I think that is the best way. Please do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and good evening, Dr. Vijay. So thank you for this opportunity as well, and absolute pleasure connecting.
Uh,
Yeah, I am Sangeeta Motupalli. I'm based out of Hyderabad, Telangana district, and Telangana state. And I would say that I have been an educationist, an academician for almost more than 3 decades now. So education has been my core passion in educating, empowering students of diversified ages, right from pre-primary to primary, graduates, undergraduates, senior citizens. So it's been an amazing journey all through. So I worked as a lecturer. I started my career as a lecturer in 1990. So I'm a double postgraduate, MSc, ML, and that's where, having worked for 11 years as a lecturer, there was always an inherent drive in me to be, an entrepreneur. I always wanted to have something of my own. And that's where I set out and set up a primary school for myself in the year 2002. And any other entrepreneur, the main intention was to live my passion as well as earn good money. And education, definitely, the school business is an evergreen one. So it started like that. However, I would say that God's plan was something different, because my school, the location that it is based out of, is in between two big slum areas, and one being Asia's biggest slum. And that's where the children who were coming for admission, they almost were coming from low or no education background, and very, very poor economic background as well. So initially, Dr. Vijay, I started rejecting the students left, right, center, because my intention was not only pure service. I mean, education has been my passion. So along with that, I definitely intended to make money as well. So I was doing things where I would say that my heart was not very happy about what my mind was making me do. So I was not in communion with myself. And that's where, very soon, with the support of my family and a bit of uh, reflection, self-reflection and all, I took it up as maybe I'm destined toward this could be a purpose that I am made to live, so that's how it started. And today I would say that it's 20 years now. It's 19 plus years. And this school is an emerging school of choice for the slum area children. It's been an amazing journey. I thank God for this opportunity, because I feel that not everybody is blessed to be doing the work that I have done or I am continuing to do. The school gave me an identity. It has been very satisfying, because I was reaching out to the set of students, the most deserving set of students, who basically even lacked, in the basic needs that decent, a human deserves. So that's where I would say that it was my privilege to serve them. And it's been an amazing, satisfying journey to make the difference in the lives of these students. So when I started, and say about 7 or 8 years, I started stabilizing the school. Then I started finding a little time for myself, where I could look beyond education, because the entrepreneur in me was always in the pursuit of new opportunities and things like that. And today, and then it was also a need for me, because the school that I was running, definitely, even to give, we need to have. So that kind of, that kind of mindset that I need to sustain it. If I have started something, then it is very important to sustain. And having found a purpose, then it was very important for me to look for opportunities beyond education as well. And that's where I started my second innings with network marketing. And I would say that was a life-changing experience as well. It was a life school for me, where I was being coached by some world-class mentors, and they helped me connect to myself, to my dreams, and they helped me unleash the real potential in me. They brought out the leader in me. And I would say that I was leading what they did to me, I was doing the same with my teams in and across India. And that's where coaching started as a third entrepreneurial initiative or a drive for me. And so in the year 2012, I found a trainer in me, and I found a bigger purpose living this new found identity in me. And that's where I would say that learning, relearning, unlearning, this had become a way of life for me. So sharing whatever that has been, sharing all that has been good for me with a lot of my near and dear ones, and then reaching out to bigger horizons and all. So I think so the educationist in me, along with the coaching initiative, blossomed full time. And yeah, the journey is an ongoing one and would continue. I would wish to continue till the last breath of my life.
So good, so exciting journey, so adventurous journey.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
we have a lot common. I too started my career in 1990, around 30 years back, as an academician. And
Oh,
I too left my government job. I was a government officer. And as I
okay.
too left my government job in 2014 for the bigger cause, you can say, to help
Okay.
students in getting their job, in succeeding in their
Right.
career. And for
Right.
last 6 months, I'm doing it on full-time basis so that I can reach out to more and more people.
Wow. So there is so much, see, I'm sure certain connects we never really know how it is
Yes,
made.
yes.
It's all God's plan. Yeah. Pleasure connecting once again, Dr. Vijay.
As you mentioned, from your educationist to being that starting your school, what
Yeah.
was the factor that motivated you to start your school?
I think so. The feeling, that somebody is happy because of you, that strengthened my resolve, and that motivated me to keep going. Uh, so the kind of gratitude, or when you are able to make a difference in the lives of so many people around you, I think so that is an amazing way of living life. And the kind of gratitude, the kind of blessings I have earned in this journey, I think so is priceless treasure for me.
Yes,
And that motivated me to keep going.
definitely.
And the person today who I have become because of all that I was able to do and all that I did, I think so. I'm definitely proud. When I look back, I'm proud of the journey that I have come, and I see that there's a long way more for me to travel as well.
Definitely. Would you like to share any good experience? Of course, there must be so many good experiences. Any particular experience of any particular kid who has done very well after coming to your school?
Yes, so I was reaching out to children where, like I told you, that they were deprived of even the basic needs, right? So having given them, the cornerstone of my curriculum was the emotional security that I was. So more than the educational, more than having a lot of syllabus or content, the study material. I was also focusing on the overall development, the emotional development of the children. So in this process, children not only coming from very low or no economic background, but also I started attracting children with special needs. So there were children who were slightly dyslexic or autistic, and with Down syndrome and all. Though, of course, I was not technically equipped to have these kind of children, but I think so that personal touch, that positive environment, and that pure intention of wanting to make difference to as many people as possible, as many children as possible, did great wonders. So there was this one student who was a grandchild of the principal of a very big school, and somehow that grandparent did not want the child to study in her own school because the child was slightly autistic and a very slow learner, and kind of was not very normal. So my school was close to her school, and that's where she admitted her grandson in my school. So initially, Dr. Vijay, when the child was admitted, was so low on confidence, was so withdrawn, I should say, that he did not even want to come in front of or stand on his legs to welcome or to greet or to even meet anybody. So he used to hide himself under the chair or under the bench like that. And I would say that that was a complete turnaround when I made friends with him, and he used to come and he used to sit on my lap. So he was just 3 years then. He used to sit with me, and then I would say in about 4 years' time, it was a complete turnaround of this child. And today he has finished his passed his 10th class, and he is doing his +2 in one of the normal colleges. So I think so that was an amazing work that was done. So it was not even dealing with him with the medical kind of, medically proven tools or methods or anything like that. It was pure love, and it was a pure intention. And we all, my team of teachers along with me, gave him that kind of comfort and the confidence, where he opened up, he started learning slowly but steadily, and then things started working, and it was magical, I would say.
Wow.
So that is one which is very close to my heart, to make the kind of difference.
Yeah, that's really amazing. And I
Yes.
think God has chosen you to make such transformations.
Absolutely, Dr. Vijay.
Very good. I love to that. Actually, I envy you. I started, to be honest, I want to start a school, maybe for almost 30 years, you can say. Because in
Okay.
my schooling, I never got that career guidance, the support that a student needs. So I wanted to start, but maybe till now, I could not.
Yes, I can understand.
Because it needs a lot, in fact. It
Absolutely,
needs
a
money
lot.
and so many things. So
Yeah.
I still have, I think it is a topmost item in my bucket list. And I don't know whether I'm going to achieve it or not, but yes, I want to do that
I'm
thing.
sure, yes.
So moving ahead, and what made you to go for network marketing? But that's an entirely different field. And in conventional thing, network marketing is a thing we go for to earn money or something like
Yes.
that. है ना?
Yes.
So from such, I think these two are the different directions.
Very diversified,
So-
I would say. Yeah, so Dr. Vijay, like I told you that after 7 or 8 years of stabilizing my school, I was finding time for myself, and I really wanted to explore opportunities beyond education. Also because I had realized that it did require, to run the school, to sustain the school, it did require a lot of
yes,
money as well. So my family, I come from a very affluent background. So my husband, my family was there to support me. But somewhere I felt that, this is my creation. And if I'm able to sustain it on my own, then why not?
Wonderful.
And so, yeah, so I was looking for opportunities. I would say that the school did consume a lot of time, and my children were small as well. When I started the school, my son was 3 and my daughter was 6. So definitely I had to balance between work as well as my own family. I was looking for something part-time, and I think network marketing gave me that kind of flexibility where I could choose when I want to work on it. So I was just, and I would say, that destined day when one of my friend proposed to me about this network marketing, I was very close to it. I was like many others, had a lot of uh, misconception about network marketing, that it is a get rich quick scheme and it's a chain business and it's generally a scam and all those kind of things. So I was not forced into this. I was very transparently shared the opportunity. And I think just with an open mind, I said, anyway, I am looking for looking or wanting to do something more. And when this opportunity has has come to my doorstep, and that too through a good friend of mine, then why not? So then I started with a borrowed belief. I just started with an intention to add a little more extra income to the school so that I could serve better. And I think so it is one of the finest decisions, because like I said, it's been a life school for me.
Yes.
And yeah, I was uh, I think so only after, I mean, life had become so monotonous, so much of routine, what I was doing, that having taken up to network marketing, I realized the power of dream. I connected to my goals again, and it's been amazing. It was a complete uh, different kind of, it changed my perception of the industry. I have a lot of regards to that, though of course I did not continue after 7 or 8 years of what I was doing, but I owe a lot to network marketing as well. So it was an extension of of making a difference as a teacher that I had done for almost more than 1 decade then. So I think so it was a bigger purpose that I was living, helping people to realize their dreams as well, and help them. So I was leading huge teams in and out India.
Wow. I think your experience is an eye opener and
Yes,
a brighter side of network marketing, because the people
absolutely.
perception. In fact, I also tried network marketing, but I could not get that support system that you got, to be honest. है ना?
Right,
I
right.
entered that, but the support system I got was not happy. So my belief system was not ready for that. And
I'm
as you
sure.
mentioned, belief system play a huge role.
Absolutely. Yeah. So out of the 10 people I meet, there are about 6 or 7 who would say that network marketing, my God, no. So that is definitely not our cup of tea. But I think so. After I had chosen to be a part of network marketing, a lot of people changed their perception as well, because coming from me, they felt that if Sangeeta is doing it, then definitely there's more to,
Yes.
so that kind of credibility actually helped me make a lot of friends, and a lot of friends, I mean, a lot of people who I never knew became my family as well. And I honestly owe a lot to network marketing for all that I'm doing. And I think so the third entrepreneurial drive, that is the coaching, also is again an extension or has come from network. So you see, when I look back on my journey, I think so it has always been a very guided one, being led from one to doing something more bigger. So it's been an awesome journey, Dr. Vijay.
So you mentioned that you got some coach or mentor who helped you
Yes,
in your transformation to that happiness coach. So
yes.
would you like to describe that experience or that learning?
Yeah, so I'm saying that I was coached during network marketing. I was coached by some world-class mentors. They brought out the leader in me. They helped me unleash my real potential and all. And network marketing is a business. I mean, it is all about duplication. So whatever I have learned, and the same thing I duplicate, and
Yes.
then so it keeps going. It continues, right? So that is where so coming from a coach, then I found a trainer in myself, I found a coach in myself. And that's where I felt that, when I gave up on network marketing, that I would now want to focus on only the training and the coaching part of it. Then that is the time where I would say that I left behind network marketing and got myself personally tutored to get certifications required. And then I realized that happiness is one thing that everybody, young and old, men or women, everybody is in pursuit of happiness, with so much of stress, so much of anxiety happening around. This could be one area which definitely I seek more clarity, and then the same I could share with people around me.
Wow, so good.
Yeah.
Happiness is a term. Actually, we all
Yes.
want happiness, but it is being
Ab-
said that if you try to find happiness, you will never be happy.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's not. I would say that it's a journey. It's a feeling. It's an experience. So it's not a destination that one could arrive at. It's a decision that one makes. It is a conscious. It's a conscious. I would say, in being in complete awareness of. Choosing to be happy. So happiness is mostly a chosen one. It's a state of mind. It's a way of life. Yeah.
And of course, we are living in India, and India is so low on the happiness index.
Actually, yes,
That's
yes.
sometimes it looks like shameful. You can say that we are so low.
Uh,
Despite being in a country which is we call sanskar or things like
correct,
that, है ना? So
correct.
we need to be on the top with the happiest
Yeah,
country in the world, है ना?
right,
But
right.
we are so low on the happiness index. So what do you
Hmm.
think are the reasons for being us so low on the happiness?
Yeah. So basically, one is we cannot deny the fact that we are the one of the most populated, the second most populated country in the world. Yeah. So then the chaos, the competition, uh, so that is leading to a lot of stress in lives of people. Everybody is directionless, all running towards making both ends meet. So that basically is being, yes, it is quite I would say a point to ponder upon, that we are so culturally rich, coming from a culturally rich
Yes.
heritage, we are still lost. So there is a bigger need, I see, that today every individual, especially in India, is made to connect. So that personal connect. So there are three kinds of connect. One is the connect with ourselves, and then the connect with the outside world, and there's a connect which is beyond the material world as well. So I think so everything, all the three are being lost in the pursuit of making both ends meet. And there is a bigger need that more and more happiness coaches, or more and more people adopt to this rising need, so that we could make India a happier place to live in.
We all want to.
Absolutely.
Being a
Absolutely.
happiness coach, have you tried to find out what is difference in India and the most happiest country in the world, like Philippines or Sweden?
Yeah. Um, it's a very valid question, I should say. Yeah. So I think the pursuit of happiness is there across the world. It's not only in India. So it's just that we are more aware because we are staying here. But otherwise, you see, there are a lot of foreign countries where the depression and the suicide cases and all are on a high. Every other young and old is gulping a lot of antidepressants and adopting to. So it's not that it's only in India, or not there in foreign countries. It's there everywhere around. So I think that it's all about where we are focusing on. And so, like, I would say world is a platform, and uh, I have a lot of clients who are in foreign countries, who have got connected and they seek the same clarity. And so I don't see that it is only in India and not in outside world.
Very good. Recently, you have started writing a blog.
Yes.
So would you like to tell us?
I would say it is yet another dream of mine that had come true. So there are various ways how we could reach out to people, conveying our wisdom or conveying our thoughts and all that. So uh, especially during the COVID times, people like me, or one challenge that I face is my technical inadequacy, and that's where uh, so workshops, conducting active workshops and all that had taken a back seat, and that's where I started focusing on how I could still reach out to the people. And that's and I think so in the past 1 year, about 5 blogs I have written on the various aspects of which was an inner quest for me, and that's where the blogs are on my website, and I've shared it across, and I've received a good response. And I would love to continue to have more and more of them.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
I think people need to read those kind of articles so that.
Yes. The reading would be one way, and then today I think so there are so many therapists, there are so many coaches, so many trainers, so much is available outside. It's just about making the choice as to what would best suit you, and then taking a decision and then getting started somewhere. So it's all about helping people to emphasize or making them understand the importance of being happy, or making a life of the happiness, the value of happiness in life.
Very good. You are so good in knowledge. You have so rich experiences. So have you written any book or are planning to?
I'm planning to, Dr. Vijay. Very soon I should be compiling a book, especially having been an entrepreneur. This would be a book which would be a great help tool for the entrepreneurs, for the networkers, and from work for home individuals. So specifically to them, but otherwise I think so everybody who reads it, definitely it's going to be a quick guide tool for them.
And why the target audience you mentioned? Why that particular segment? Any particular reason?
Yeah, that's because I have been an entrepreneur. So a lot of people could relate to them, because I see that when I was connecting as a networker as well, given a choice, everybody would want to be their own boss. Everybody would want to do something on their own. But, not everybody is blessed to
Yes.
be doing that. So a lot of people are doing things which they have to do rather than which they want to do. So that's where, I think so when you see a like-minded person coming from a like-minded person, or a person who has walked the talk, then people are able to relate more. And that's where I feel that my target audience would be the entrepreneurs, work from home, as well as the networkers, more specifically.
Very good. Very good. Do you also conduct training sessions for the general public, except the network marketing professionals?
Yes. Like I told you, essentially it is these, but then I have been conducting a lot of law of attraction workshops, gratitude workshops, as well as happiness workshops, and it is open for all ages, as well as open for people from diversified backgrounds as well.
In offline mode only or online mode as well?
Now I have started online as well.
Very good, very good. Because
Yes.
in pandemic has
Need of the hour, absolutely need of the hour. So, and learning is the way of life, and that's how I'm learning to, slowly but steadily. I am conducting workshops online as well.
very good. Can you tell us briefly what is the content in these sessions?
So when it comes to law of attraction workshops, so basically law of attraction, I am not sure if you are aware about this, but
Yes,
definitely it's a law which is picking up a lot of importance and awareness. So like any other universal law, like the law of gravity or the law of cause and effect. It is also a law. Whether you know it or no, it is still working. So good is when we know more about it, we acquire the knowledge and the wisdom, and be aware of it, and apply it in our life so as to manifest and make things work in every area of our life. So law of attraction workshops would essentially be speaking about the laws and the tools as to how we could apply this law to manifest all the things that we desire and deserve.
Very
So
good.
that is, yeah. And then gratitude is one of yet another virtue that I conduct workshops on, the importance of gratitude, wherein, people, it really helps them to, it's very holistic. It brings out a lot of clarity among people. It helps them to make peace with themselves and come in, the past starts making sense to them, and it actually unlocks a lot of unlocks the world of happiness to them. So I do conduct a lot of workshops on gratitude as well, that is practicing gratitude for 21 days, 40 days, and then it becomes an inherent activity of your day. And then happiness as well. Happiness workshops would essentially be a lot of self-reflection, self-inquiry as to your goals and who am I, and why you're doing what you're doing. So helping them identify their purpose, and then having a vision board for them, and then a roadmap how they could start ticking off their goals, their dreams. So yeah.
Very good, very good. I write gratitude journal, and I realize the power of the gratitude. No.
Yes.
And as you mentioned, the law of attraction, I know about that. I read the books, discussed with coaches, international coaches. But to be honest, I've never attended any such workshop. I would like to attend one of your workshops. So
It
please
would
let
be
me know.
absolutely my pleasure.
I would love to attend. And
Yes, it's a very powerful workshop. It's a very powerful concept. So I would say many people do not believe. There are people who don't believe. There are people, there are all kinds of people, and there are people who want to know about it. So when I do conduct workshops, they are high on energy. They get motivated, very enthusiastic about it, and then they go out trying things, applying things. So a lot of people come back with a lot of gratitude that things have worked for them, and then they get stuck somewhere, and they again make a comeback. So it's again an ongoing process of learning, relearning, and unlearning.
yes, it is. And
Yes.
to be honest, I'm sharing it with you. I haven't shared it with anyone for quite few years, maybe 2 or 3 years. Things are coming to me. I read books. I don't choose books. Books are choosing me. In fact,
Wow.
and
That they are seeking actually is also seeking us. I would only say that it is synchro destiny. Yeah.
it's similar to people. Maybe, but I met. I have chosen you. In fact, maybe the universe has made me to choose you.
Connected.
Okay, say.
Yes.
So yes, the law of attraction works, and I strongly believe in it.
Yes.
And I think
Yes,
that belief makes a lot of difference.
absolutely. So it could be a borrowed belief initially. So when I was
Yeah.
introduced to the law of attraction, The Secret, when I read the book, The Secret, I was gifted this book when I joined network marketing. And when I started reading the book, I felt, oh, this is something I have known it ever since my childhood, because I hardly remember not getting anything that I wanted. So I felt that this is what is officially called The Secret, so it's fine. Yeah. But then as time passes, and then as we grow and we find ourselves stuck in some area of our life, and then we start wondering as to why this is happening to me and all. So that I think so sets us on a different level of inquiry, and then you want to know more. You want to learn to crack those challenges as well. And that quest, I think so, led me to get myself certified, to go more deep, and just not reading a book or watching a film, but basically applying those tools. And if it is working for some, then why is it not working for me? So those kind of that kind of passion as to master this law And then once I mastered, I think so, it was always in me that something that is good for me, I want to share it with my family and friends, and then a bigger circle and all. And that's how the belief, the borrowed belief, became a way of life.
Yes, yes.
That nothing is impossible. All that you want, you could actually help manifest in this life itself.
And the chain of positivity that you mentioned, that goes
Absolutely.
on.
Yes, yes, Dr. Vijay.
Uh, as we mentioned, in India specifically, and of course in the world, there are so many people who are not happy, who have money, lots of money, and others,
Yes.
but they are not happy. So why should they approach a happiness coach?
Yes. Why shouldn't they, or why should they?
Actually, most of the people don't believe that anyone can help them. Actually, I discussed with so
Yeah.
many professionals who are earning maybe crores of rupee a
Right.
year, है ना? But
Right.
they are not willing to go to a coach. I discussed with them that I have everything and nobody can change me, है ना?
Yes.
So
Yes.
I think there are reasons. I believe in that. I believe that
Yes.
coach can make a huge difference in life.
Actually,
है ना?
yes. Yes.
So maybe if I approach someone who is not happy, and if I'm
Yes.
suggesting him why he should go to the coach, so what are the reasons I can tell him or her to approach to a coach?
So I think so, unless and until an individual is ready for listening, is ready to take that kind of help, one cannot really help. So if
Yes.
the person is ready, then whatever kind of success he or she might have seen, whatever the kind of challenge, so that readiness is very important. Until then, there's little that one can do. So I think so. It is again, not everybody is realize that they can overcome the situation that they are in. They really need to be blessed. They really need to be touched by someone. And I think so that there would come a point in everybody's life where they would start listening. It could perhaps be too late for the for
Yes.
others, but it's just like, when we are very happy, then we don't really think of God. But when we are having a lot of problems and all,
Yes. Yes.
until
Yes.
we are really like things are now beyond our control, then there are some who would see God. Otherwise, I think so the ego, that I can do it all, and there's no need.
Yes.
If it's not me, then it's nobody else who could understand me or do that. Then I think it's a very sad state of
Yeah. That's a
thinking.
fallacy, you can say. And
Absolutely.
that's a
Absolutely.
self-righteousness that yes, I'm
Yes,
right
yes.
on that.
Yes, yes,
Very good.
yes.
So, I think if you are comfortable, I would like to know what is the process that you follow with your clients to make them happier?
Yeah. So first, it is basically a lot of connect, my connect with them, and then they connect with themselves. So, like I told you, we have a lot of activities which help them, which set them into the mode of self-inquiry. So once they get into that mode of self-inquiry, then it is very rare that they would want to leave it halfway, because when I think so, true happiness is about finding oneself. And that's the self inquiry process. Once it begins and they start finding themselves, this is a place where they would like to go more deeper and would like to have more of it. So the workshops are so designed to help them connect with themselves and know about themselves more and more. And that clarity and that understanding is so self transforming that they continue to they would want to continue to be in that state of living life.
Normally, how much time it requires for transformation?
Again, I would say that it depends from person to person. Like, there cannot be just one yardstick for people, for the diversified people. So some people take it really long. Some people are very passionate about wanting to master the skill of so they are really fast. So I would say that it depends on an individual. So there are a lot of people who are very enthusiastic, and they absorb all the positive energy, and they think that they know it all, and then they again they get they set out, and when they find themselves back into the trap, that is the time they would again approach us for that. So this happens also because uh, action takers, the persistent.
Yes.
So everything, self transformation or anything, it is all about being very authentic to oneself, and it is a commitment. It requires a lot of discipline and integrity, and also a lot of things that play into making oneself completely self transformed. So yeah, so it depends on every individual. There's no such
You mentioned the term authentic, and I
yes.
believe in that term, and I believe I think each of us should be authentic, because if we are authentic, and I think that it is highly likely that we are happy.
Yes. And today's world, I would say, Dr. Vijay, I think that is one thing that is missing in a lot of people,
Yes.
the real me, in the pursuit of catching up with the life, the social life, and the life, to making things happen. I think so. People have lost themselves. People don't really know what makes them happy, what their purpose is. And I mean, most of them, I would say, is existing rather than living that kind of life. How many ever we meet, then it is, yeah, everything is fine, or going on, pulling on is the kind of response that we get.
As you rightly mentioned, that most of the people are not authentic. They feel, or rather they believe, that in the present world, to succeed, to grow, to improve,
Yeah,
we need to wear masks.
absolutely.
So
Yes.
what is your say on that? Do we need to wear masks or be authentic?
No, so that is where the mankind is failing, I would say, that, because in this rat race, or in this where people are not being true to themselves and wearing the mask. So in the pursuit to making things happen and all, they lose themselves so much that we never really know that what fails them and what pulls them down. So and that's where I would say that at some stage or the other, they find themselves falling to levels which they are unable to recover themselves. However, I think so for the past 5-6 years, there is a lot of awareness that is picking up
Yes,
in
yes,
these
yes.
terms. People are getting more and more conscious, and thanks to the pandemic, because I think so it has given us that pause button, where everybody across, not only India and across the globe, had started thinking seriously as to what and why and how. So, a lot of people got connected to them. So I think so that uh, the right, we are moving ahead. So there are two sides, people who are still not wanting to be aware, and there are people who are getting consciously, making a conscious effort to get themselves transformed, or picking up more and more on the awareness front.
What you say on does being authentic halt the journey of growth?
Does being authentic?
Halts or stops the journey of growth?
No, in fact, I think so. That would enhance, or that is one element that would always help us to grow. Because when you are authentic, the kind of challenges or the kind of you would face is something very different. And to really be real to yourself, to be to stand the test of is so important, and not a very easy thing. It's not very easy. It could be
Yes,
painful,
yes,
but it
yes.
would be worth the pain. It would be worth the pain, because when finally, where what emerges out, or I think so, that is called self transformation, or it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of commitment to be authentic to oneself.
Courage to be vulnerable.
Absolutely.
And I think most of the people don't have that courage.
Yes, yes, yes. they don't have that kind of arrange, and maybe they don't feel that immediate need also, because it's not some short term, it's not just a
Yes.
quick thing that you apply it, and it's not a convenient kind of thing that today I decide to be authentic, and you cannot be selective about it. When you're authentic, then that's a value, that's an inherent value. And I think a person who chooses to be authentic, or it is deep down, it's coming from deep down, then it's really difficult for that person to wear a mask, or just to please, or just to get away with a one-time thing.
So I think you believe that being authentic does not stop the journey, and
Absolutely no. It is a part of the growth. Very important for true growth, I would say.
so anyone in any profession
Yes.
can be authentic at the same time growing and succeeding in their field.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Wonderful thing. And I think
Yes.
and the
Yes.
people who are listening or who will listen, I think this must be an eye opener.
Yeah. So working with integrity, being authentic, and then living a life of compassion and all. These are some virtues that I think so the world needs, and each one of us, we could turn the society inside out. We could turn around the society inside out.
Very good. Very good. So you are on the mission of spreading happiness.
Yes.
And that's a wonderful mission, no doubt about that. I think it must be, you must have got some people, this must have approached you that I want to be on the same journey, I want to become a happiness coach or something like that. So
yes, a lot of them, a lot of my clients, my friends, who are taking up to the same profession of wanting to be a trainer and a coach. So we are a family now, working towards transforming ourselves and transforming the society as well.
okay, very good. So you're building the community as well, other people are also joining you, and
Yes.
very good, very good. Because
Yes.
I think we need more of happiness coaches, we need more of
Absolutely.
things, you can say.
Absolutely, Dr. Vijay.
Yes, very good. And is there any maybe people are want to know who could not connect to you? Is there any particular process to become master of that coach, or maybe expert of that job?
Yes. So there are a lot of coaches today, you see, that are being, I mean, even on the social media, we could find. So basically, it is networking, it is connecting to when you want something very desperately, when you are seeking to being somebody, then it's all about reaching out to the right kind of people. So there are search engines which give us a list of a range of the trainers and coaches in specific areas of life, and then we could reach out through their websites or to this. So there's so many across the world who are doing wonderful work. So it's all about reaching out.
Very good. What are your main strengths that make you successful?
I think so. Working tirelessly for something that I start or I commit to, and then it is empathy and compassion is also, and also I would say coupled with prayers. I'm a very God conscious person, and I find a lot of strength in praying to God. So these are few to list.
Very good. If someone approach you that he or she tell you that I want to be a happiness coach, so how you decide or judge whether that particular person is suitable for this profession or not?
Yeah. So basically, there is a why for everybody, in the sense why anybody would want to do what they are doing, or what they're wanting to do. So basically, I connect to that person and try to see how perseverance. I mean, how strongly they feel about wanting to be that, because again I would say that this is a journey, and this is not a one-time certification. It would set us on a different kind of where we have to keep learning, and we have to keep going. And it's not even that we connect to people and we give them one-time solution. It's not like that. So once we get connected, then the clients are for life. So there is a relationship for life. So I have had conducted workshops and about 200 and odd members. So there is a WhatsApp hub that we are connected to. So there's a lot of sharing that keeps going on. And we keep discussing, and people having some challenge applying a tool, or if they have some breakthroughs or something that they are stuck with. So it's an ongoing thing. So once I through the process of self-inquiry and through the process of connect, get very assured that he or she is very clear about wanting to be, and is very honest about wanting to be a trainer and a coach, until then we do not really take it forward with the person.
Let us suppose you have to transfer all your wisdom, knowledge, experiences to someone.
Yeah.
So that someone must have, must have some qualities, I think, based on which you will decide that whether that person is suitable to transfer all these things or not.
Yeah.
So what type of person that could be?
So one would be the person should be coachable. The learnability of the person is very important. And then qualities like empathy is very important here, because
Yes.
happiness. So it's all about the higher emotions that we should, the person should be having. Because unless a person could see himself or herself in the, in the foot of the other people, then it is very difficult to understand the way they feel. So I think so empathy is one very important emotion that the person should be reflecting. So and of course associated, and there are other emotions as well. The person has to really be in that giving mode. So there are a lot of trainers and coaches as well who are here in this industry only to the commercial aspect of it. So nothing wrong about it, but just that when it comes to happiness, when it comes to dealing with the emotions of the people and all, then it is definitely heart above the mind. And a person people who are more ruled by the heart are the right kind of people, at least to be happiness coaches.
I think the 3 topmost books that made most impact on you.
Yeah, so I have been reading a lot of books. Yes, I think so. The biography of immediately it's but The Amazing Secrets by Amazing Secrets is one. So I generally follow the books by a lot of spiritual leaders and monks. So I have this I have been just reading Amazing Secrets by Sri Gaur Gopal Das, His Grace. Yes. Gaur Gopal Das. It's a wonderful book which enables to relate on a, doesn't take you in the sense anybody could relate to this. So it's not a book that is very high on technicalities and all that, but something which is very simple to connect heart to heart. So The Amazing Secrets is one of them. And then a book by Robin Sharma, the monk who sold the Ferrari, is yet another one which gives that also is something that has I really love to. And the best, I think so, it's Good Vibes by Vex King is one book that also has added a lot of value to me. And I have suggested this book to a lot of others as well. So there are many, but I think yes. So not immediately coming to my mind.
And when yes. we are going to see your book, when we are going to read your book?
Yeah, I think so. A year from now, because compilation definitely requires a lot of focus and time, and I have a few other assignments which would take another 3 or 4 months of mine, and that's where I would want to give a more realistic date, 1 year from now. I think so. I would my book would be published.
Are we going to read this one book, or have you planned a series of books?
To start with, it would be one, and definitely it would be
Yeah.
a series going
But-
ahead. Then it has to be many more.
Very good, very good. Because you have lots of experiences. I mean, different kinds of experiences, their richness,
much.
exposure. So I think people, I think, can be benefited by your learning. You know?
Thank
Because
you. Thank
and books are a very good medium.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, Dr. Vijay.
Yes, because I love books, to be honest, and I have read, I mean, thousands of books. And a book, you must be, a book can change an entire life.
Oh, yes, yes.
So,
I was not very fond of reading as a child, as a school child and all, but I think so. Taking to the profession of teaching and being an educationist, helping, I mean, when advising more and more, encouraging more and more students to take up to reading and all. So it was somewhere not, when we tell somebody and when we don't do it. And I think so. It
yes.
just started with that when I am telling, suggesting something to somebody, then I need to practice it first, and that's how it started. And then I think so. Today I am a voracious reader. I do keep reading a lot of books. Yeah.
How people can reach you?
I would prefer through my email ID, through my personal email ID, or my directly call me. Otherwise, there is a website, Happy Hearts, which, yes, I would the first preference would be the email ID and then the mobile phone.
And you don't post on social media?
I
And
do
you-
it. I
Okay,
do it. I
okay,
do
okay.
on LinkedIn, and I have been active on LinkedIn very recently now. Otherwise, I'm quite active on Instagram and Facebook. So I am focusing on LinkedIn as well.
So people can approach you through these mediums
Yes.
as well.
Yes, yes,
Very good.
absolutely.
If someone want to reach you, so is there any other appointment system or something like that?
No, they could reach to me, and I would look into my schedule and then fix an appointment with them
Okay.
and fix a time with them. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Because some of the coaches that I have seen, they have
Yeah.
that appointment system online. So through that,
Yes,
one
yes.
can directly book an appointment.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, no issue. So if
I'm
some...
yet to get there, Dr. Vijay. Yeah.
Very good. So I think we have learned a lot in this session and got over it. So if someone is planning to approach you,
Yeah.
maybe I think you would be comfortable to share or not. Is there any that price something? Would you like to share something or not?
No, but it actually depends on what they are seeking, whether it is just the awareness of law of attraction, or then the happiness, or then dealing with just a particular area. So it's a different price for different kinds of things. So I think so. Yeah, it is not right to
Yes.
have one slab for everybody. It depends on the requirement of an individual.
So you first assess the requirement, first assess
Yes.
the person and
Yes.
where he is lying now and where you
Yes.
want to reach, and based on
Yes.
that you decide. Yeah,
Yes,
I think that's the right way to reach.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Nagita. And we learned a lot, and audience must learn a lot. And I would like to see you again, maybe after a few months or a year, with your
Sure.
new experiences, with your new learning. And I think by that time your book must be out. So,
Hopefully. Let's hope. Yes.
an insight on that book as well. Thank you
Yes.
so much for your
Thank
time,
you.
energy, and wisdom. Thank you so
Same
much.
here. Thank you so much, Dr. Vijay. Bye-bye.